And we're back! Hello! Where is stupicide gonna take us this time? Right, so stupicide's probably gonna kill me right now, but I was still working on this function for the time. Oh, stupicide. Hello. We had Swimming Cow earlier saying this is weird looking necromancy. Oh, definitely it is kind of weird necromancy, huh? It's like, what the hell is this? Weird lines of code. Oh. That's hilarious. Alright, so I ran into an issue. If a value is less than 10, so like 9, it shows up like this. 9, 3. Well, obviously, that can't be. So actually no, it should be if the value is less than 6. Because if it's exactly 5, the seconds, it doesn't add a... Oh no, it is less than 10. Because if it's 9 for seconds, it doesn't go 09, it just goes 9, which looks a bit weird. So we need to pad it, so it adds a 0. So if ISS is less than 10, now the issue that I had is I can't just go like add +0 to a integer. So unless you can come up with like a clever idea here for me, I'm gonna have to literally edit every string where there's a minute and be like, if ISS is less than 10, you have an idea. Okay. Hit me with that idea. Screw the display. At least for now. So you just want me to stop and give up, essentially, so what you say. I might want 3 iterations. What do you mean? Explain that to me. Yeah, because I don't think this way is gonna work. I think what I need to be doing is storing them as strings. That's gonna be easiest. So string IHH, sorry, SHH, equal to IHH. So like basically what we're doing here. I think this will work. And then the last one works like that. Right, and then we do a simple check, which was if ISS less than 10, then no, minutes. You want the whole sanity thing to be something that should be done completely in the background. What do you mean by that? So that I understand better. I wouldn't want a key to display my current status or anything. You wouldn't want a key? What do you mean a key? You completely lost me now. I should get my sleep interrupted by nightmares. That might give me a hint. Okay, I got you. Zero. We are geniuses here. I hope you see what I'm doing. It's like, boom. You said you wouldn't want a key. Do you mean you do or don't? Yeah, I'm gonna stop with this now. I am done, so don't worry. Do you know how I managed to fix the military time if you're not using military time? You just minus 12 hours. So, you know 1800 is 6 o'clock, right? 18 minus 12 is 6. Simple. Alright, yeah, it becomes different. That's true. Yeah, it's just for debugging purposes, obviously. Okay, I'm finally done. And the other thing I checked is B is PM, where basically if the time is greater than 12, we just say it is PM, else it's not. Else, if it's exactly 12, then it needs to remain 12. Otherwise it's 0, which is, yeah, really stupid. Yeah, that makes perfect sense. Thanks for sharing that though, I do appreciate it. And I'm gonna start working on that now. I promise you this is gonna be the last time. Because while you were gone I worked on this really hard. Hours, minutes and seconds. Oh, you love your jokes, don't you? Brilliant. How's it going, Joker's Ghost? Good to see you drop by. Okay, so don't you just love that my bed's in the ground like this? It's wonderful. So let's go. It's 12:28 now, so it should stay exactly like this. And let us just check our debug log real quick. Okay, so standard time, well, military time is 12:28, which is how it should be. Standard time is 12:28 PM, as well as it should be. Now that it's 1 PM, there should be a 1 instead of 13. Let's see if that works. So let's go back in game, sleep for another hour, go back out, check out debug. Okay, so it's 1300 military, but we're 1300 as well. Which isn't quite right. So let's see, why would that be the case? If we are using military time, oh, because it's using SHH. Where's SSH being set? And where's the whole thing where if it's under, we're minusing 12? There we are. Oh, okay. So we need to set SHH over here so that I can properly update. SHH needs to be set to IHH here to reflect this change that we've just done. There we go. Let's just do that and compile it and then check again. Are you lagging, Joker's Ghost? Shouldn't be that hard. I'm only streaming at 720p. Depends obviously on what your line speed is at. Are you lagging as well, stupicide? Okay. Yeah, I've had no one ever really complain about my streams. I do have a 20 meg upload, so if I didn't have that I would never stream. Yeah, it was probably when I was trying to upload something in the background. I've cancelled that since. Yeah, now you're gonna hit me with your German internet speeds. You have not even a megabyte. Oh, what? I thought you were gonna tell me, yeah, here in Germany we have 100 megabytes. That's weird, because obviously in South Africa, as a third world country, you wouldn't expect me to have faster speeds than a European country. Okay, let's go to bed. Check our debug log. We are on... Ah, okay. We're at least getting somewhere. The seconds are messed up now. 12:30, I'm assuming this was a 1 as a second. That should have been a 10. So why didn't that work? Seconds are what ISS is. Then if seconds are less than 10, SSS equal to 0 plus SS. Ah, but then we have the same issue as earlier where we have to update SHMM because these aren't going to update again. So we need to update SMM because it's obviously calling SMM. So we're gonna have to do this, I think. We update SMM with IMM. Should we have to do that though? Because here we're actually updating SMM. We're saying add 0 in front of SMM. So why didn't that work? If IMM... Wait, no, that's seconds now, sorry. If ISS is less than 10, and 1 is less than 10, SS should have 0 plus whatever SS is. Why wasn't the 0 added in front? Welcome to the family, Joker's Ghost. I appreciate the follow. This is fun. Am I overriding it somewhere? If use military time, SHH is equal to 0 plus SH. Oh, because this is not being updated with the new value. So I think I actually technically have to update these. So this gets written again, but this time taking the new value into account. Okay, so whenever that happens, I have to update these. And do the same for the bottom. Wherever you use M and S, you need to call them again. This is not the neatest way, but yeah, I think that's the only way. And we'll know if this works if we get anything that's under 10 seconds. Let's just hope we get lucky. And then we can move away from this and start with the actual functionality, which is we're going to restore sanity on sleeping, right? Stupicide? I swear after today you're gonna be like, I am so sick and tired of hours and minutes and seconds. But at least the function that we made is not a complete waste. Like, okay, yeah, I put some effort into getting the output out, but it will calculate the time that has passed since we are sleeping, which was the whole point. Okay, so let's sleep. And let us check our log. What have we got? 12:27:23. Great. 12:27:23 PM. Why does that look weird? It's not weird. Okay, let's sleep again. This should be 1:28 this time. And it is 13:28 and 13:28 again. Oh! I give up. Let's worry about this another time. I don't want to take your time up on this. I'm gonna add a to-do to top, so I have note for myself. What was the other thing that we needed? Cool. I think that's all we had to remember to do. Could it be that you do your trace with both ways at the same time? No, it shouldn't be, because they're two function calls, and one I'm using the boolean of true, the other the boolean of false. So it will literally run them twice, and functions are latent, meaning they wait for the previous to run and finish first. And if that was the case, we wouldn't have gotten the obviously PM over here. It wouldn't have added PM, because why is it not there? Well, if you think it's that, I can go and test it for you. It'd be funny if it is that. But from what I've seen before in my testing, functions generally wait for... they run one after the other. But it might be possible. Better be safe than sorry and check it out. I need to add my Skyrim back onto my SSD. Well, I think it is on my SSD, I'm not sure. Because I could load it up fast. I mean, once I'm in the menu, it loads like within 5 seconds. But just the initial startup. You can imagine how many times I load Skyrim up to test mods. Okay, so I uncommented it for you so that you can see. There's 12:27, which is correct. And then 1 o'clock is now. Okay, check again. You see, 1328. So it's not because of the function run. So it's not that, but I'll solve that another time. That's just the outputting of text. The function works. Okay, so what we needed now is to be able to know how much time the player spent sleeping. This is format game time. We don't need format game time. We need... we need to make sure that the player actually did sleep. So we know when they went to sleep with this line, and we'll only know when the player wakes up on sleep end. Where was my on sleep end? On sleep stop. Why is it all the way at the bottom here? Oh my god, I wrote so many functions. I didn't even realize that. Why didn't you stop me? Stupicide. Got carried away a little. So we got a time now when we started sleeping, and we got a time now when we ended sleeping. So how do we make these two talk to each other? Do we store them in a property on our script? I mean, you did do that, yeah. Just give me a second. Okay, sorry, I'm back. Okay, so first, the player went to sleep on, and then on sleep stop, we have another trace. The player woke up on days past, at time now. Cool. Do you see how nice and easy this is now that I made that function? It's not useless, do you see? So that's going to tell us exactly what day and what time. Just for us, obviously. Debugging. And then we actually need to store this. So these are two different events. How do we communicate this to know? how much we reward the player. Because this event doesn't communicate to this event. So we don't need all of this junk. This can all go. That function basically made this so much quicker for us. So how do these two communicate with each other? Think now. I guess I have to use two variables. I can't see a way around that, because to reward the player with sanity points, we need to calculate the time that they slept. Because how... So there's two events, on sleep start when the player is sleeping, and on sleep stop when the player wakes up. So how are we going to get the time they slept? But it's not a function, so how can you return it? Oh, hold on. Can I do return? But it's an event, not a function. You can't return. How are you going to return to an event? And remember, the function that's going to calculate how much sanity points to give needs to know what time the player went to sleep and what time they waked up. So even if woke up, so even if I could return one of them, I need both of them. Does that make sense? Yeah, but then if I'm defining variables, that's what I told you earlier. I was going to have to use variables, which I wanted to avoid. Because then I store the sleep time in the one variable and the wake up time in the other variable. But it seems I'm going to have to do that. I can't see a way around that. So... how can you use one variable? Oh, time now, yeah, I get it. We call it... So we call it sleep time. Or time since last sleep. Which one looks better to you? F time since last sleep or F last sleep time? Which one looks better? Time since last sleep or last sleep time? The first one will then be similar to the other one we have, and I like, how do I say, consistency. Time since last sleep and time since last update. Yeah, you also like that one. Cool. Cool. Done. Then what we do is on sleep start, we set equal to time now. It's either that or we can completely remove this. And then you would have to call... No, but then... No, it's easier, we leave it like that. So we update the MNCOD time since sleep to time now. Cool. And time now is get current game time. Days past is... So to calculate days past, you need to floor the initial time since last sleep minus the time now. Does that make sense? Time now, get current game time. Days past is floor time since last sleep minus floor time now. Sorry, my brain is a bit like hee. I'm just trying to think for a moment here. Do we need days past? Yes, we do, because what if they slept for days? Yeah, no, we're gonna get there, but like I said, what if it's days that have gone by? If you're not calculating days, and they slept for days, and you're only checking for hours, it's the game hour. So, it could be 2 hours when it was actually 1 day and 2 hours. Do you know what I mean? So, time since last sleep minus floor now. That will give us days. Yeah, but we need hours too. You can't just check on days. If we're just checking on days, then how do you know how many hours he slept? That's why I said we need hours and days. So how do we calculate hours past? Time since last sleep, obviously. Times 24. Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Like I said, how are you gonna know he slept for more than 6 hours if the game only calculates between 0 and 24 and the new day it begins again? Now what if, for example, you were at midnight, which is 23, well before midnight, 23, and it rolls over to the next day? You're not going to be able to calculate the hours because it became a new day. So hours are unreliable alone. We need days. And obviously we can't use days alone because unless the player slept for an entire day, we're not going to know how many hours. And we need at least 6, so we need days and hours. Now I'm trying to calculate how many hours were passed. So I'm going to need time since last sleep minus days past Time since last sleep minus days past times 24. That will give us... that won't give us hours past actually. That will just give us the current hour. Oh, I got it. We just take days past divided by 24. I think? No, wait, what am I trying to do? Times 24, sorry. So 1 times 24 is obviously 1. I mean 24. And then 2 days times 24 is 48. And if days past is a fraction, like 0.5 days times 24 would obviously give us 12 hours. So that's how we calculate it. You with me? Why do you want to multiply by 10? What are you multiplying? We just take days past and we times it by 24, and that's how we know how many hours have passed. You agree? No, that's not how it works. That's inaccurate. We need to know how many hours have passed. We don't care what the game time is. We care if they slept 6 hours. You can't work it out that way, trust me. Because if it rolls over to a new day, it resets. The way I have it will work regardless. So the moment we are done here, we need to update time since last sleep. The time since last sleep will be set to time now. Okay, so we don't have to worry about that. The next time we sleep, it's gonna update time since last sleep. So we don't have to worry about any of that. The only thing we do have to deal with now is... do we care if the player was interrupted? That means... if the player is attacked while they're sleeping, or if they stop sleeping. We don't really care about that, do we? We only care how many hours they slept. Do we? Because I can still get the amount of hours that they actually did sleep for. Because I know how many hours have passed. Yeah, but I don't think that matters, because the interruption can still happen. We only care about hours past. On sleep stop happens immediately if the player is woken up, whether something woke them up or not. So in this case, I don't think we need this check. We only care about the amount of hours that were actually slept. So we care, you say 6 hours, why not 8 hours? Normal humans get 8 hours of sleep. I'm pretty sure I saw in some of the mods that 8 hours is like required for like certain perks. It works with 6 hours? Really? Is the well rested perk given when you sleep for 6 hours? So well rested, you gain it. Doesn't specify. I'm looking at the wiki for it now, and it doesn't specify the hours. All it says is you gain 10% more experience for 8 in-game hours. And it's not about how the game tick works. We're calculating how many hours you slept, so it doesn't really matter what the game does. We decide how many hours are needed to restore sanity. Max sanity, of course. That's why I thought 8 hours, because I mean typically you hear you should sleep 8 hours. I mean, I could set that as well. It can be a variable that can be changed. What should I call the variable? It should be an integer. Property. Well rested. Well-rested duration. No, that doesn't sound right. I need something that explains that's how long you have to sleep for. High well-rested length. Yeah, but I mean you want your variables to be intuitive so you can understand them. Like that's why you can look at all of these and know exactly what it means. And this one is just not rolling off of my tongue. Well rested. Hours? I think that works. Well rested hours. And then I can come back here and say if hours passed greater than or equal to well rested. Now hours slept would then just imply how many hours the player has slept for. This is the variable that will hold the how many hours you need to sleep in order to be well rested, aka have the best bonus. If hours passed greater than or equal to rested. Else. Okay, now remember we didn't want to restore full sanity because you can't just get full sanity in, you know, 1 day of sleeping. Well, max. So what is the max that you can get restored? £10? A random again between X and Y. It is configurable. I well rested hours is a variable that could be changed. You say 6, I say 8, so it can be changed in whatever. How many points base should it be? Remember, the values don't really matter. People will change them to whatever they want them, but we need a baseline for people who don't want to change things. And that's why you balance it out. 1 to 10, but you're earning more per hour, basically doing nothing. I think per hour we are restoring between, can't remember what it was, but I have to check. Between 1 and 20. So we currently restore 1 to 20 per hour. That's an average of 10.5 sanity restored per hour. At that rate, it's 252 sanity per day. So I think we need to balance that. Yeah. So let's say at most, naturally, you can get 2 summons out of just standard sanity restoring. That's without sleeping. You can summon twice a day. I mean, you get refilled to be able to summon twice a day, just for doing nothing. Does that sound good? Because then that means we need about 40 sanity per day, which then will work out to about 1.6 sanity per hour. So let's say 1.6 sanity per hour. That's about 38.4 sanity per day. Or maybe do 1.75, because then it gives it 42 sanity per day. What do you think? No, doing nothing restores sanity over time. Remember we had this talk? So over time your sanity slowly regains. So you can get 42 sanity per day in this method. No, you can't just have a random number of 1 to 10. Because then you would not get this balance. You have to write out the numbers that you want and then calculate accordingly. So are we happy with this? Sanity restored over time. 42 sanity per day. So by doing nothing, it would take you 2.4 days to fully restore your sanity. By just going around, walking around, you know, doing whatever. And then to make it go quicker, you would have to sleep. So if this is how much sanity we get over time, yeah, I forgot about the time scale. If that is the case, then we can also divide it by the timescale. We can figure out the timescale and then do calculations based on that. Yeah, so I'll make sure that I use the timescale in the calculation. That's not a problem. So this is just standard. Then sanity restored when sleeping. How much sanity per day do we want? Do we want 60? No, a flat 30 sanity. Sleep restores fully. No, but we had to talk about that. You can't go from insane to sane just in one sleep. You're the one that said that. It wouldn't make sense. That's correct, yeah. With threshold of 50 we get to 80. If we were on 100 it'd store 100. If we were on 90 it will go to 100. If we were on 70 it will go to 100. What do you mean as a start? We need to know how much sanity gets restored when we sleep. So we need a number. And that is not influenced by timescale. So every time you sleep for the max hours, you get X amount of sanity. How much should that be? 30? Okay. Yeah, we can change afterwards. So we're gonna need a new float called F sanity restored. Four days to fully recover seems alright. 4 times sleeping for 6 hours. That's 1 day of sleeping. I'm tempted to put a block where you can only sleep once a day to restore sanity, but that might overcomplicate things. Are we going to make it random, right? It's between X and Y. It's not, or is it going to be a flat 30 points? Or do we make it random? I think we should kind of make it random, eh? So min and max. Cool, so okay, we're gonna need a new function called restore sanity. Restore sanity sleeping? Does that sound right? Or just restore sanity? I think we need to specify, because we've got restore sanity to threshold, which makes sense. Restore sanity sleeping, I guess, works. And then we need to take in the hours past. And basically copy this, and then just edit what we don't need. And if these are going to be so similar, at another point I might as well make one function with a boolean to say, is it a threshold or is it a sleeping one, you know what I mean? But for now, I'll just duplicate them. At another point, I can change it. Sanity current. Sanity restored. Random float. This needs to change to sleeping min and sleeping max. Sanity restored plus equal to F random sanity restore. And if it tries to go over our max sanity, restoring to limit instead. So these functions are very similar. I can combine them, that's for sure. No, you won't get 1 to 6 points. Well, you mean per hour, yeah. Yeah, but it wouldn't really, would it? Because if you had a night... Okay, I mean, yeah, sure. Okay. The thing you need to keep in mind is the more hours you sleep, the average becomes, how do I say, more in line. So let's say I had 20, 10, 18, 8, 25, 15. These numbers may look far apart, but if I add all of these numbers up, 20, 10, 18, 8, 25, 15, divided by the number of data sets, which is 6, your average comes to 16, which puts it very close into the middle. So, relying on a number like that, it won't be like a true weighted average where you say 3% chance to get a nightmare or 20% chance to get a nightmare, or you know what I mean. You would basically be getting a nightmare maybe 1 in 3 sleeps. Yeah, I am. But the point that I'm trying to say from your case is that we're not going to get that randomness that we want doing it that way. Because as you know, with dice throw, for example, let's say we had a 1d12. What are the odds of landing a 6? For every multiplicative of a number between 1 and 12. Yeah, that's what I mean though. Now, what do you think the average? Remember, this is a game. It's not the same as rolling a dice and luck-based chance. So, our average between 1 and 6 is going to be 3.5. Because 6 plus 1 is 7, divided by 2 is 3.5. What I'm saying is you have better odds in the game than you would be rolling a dice because of how weighted structures work. So unless you have a way around that, you're gonna get a nightmare every second or third sleep. Like, what should be the occurrence of nightmares? That's what I'm trying to say. Because if you do it like that, every second or third sleep is going to be a nightmare. I don't think it should be that, right? I mean, obviously that can be configurable, but generally you would have, I don't know what, a nightmare 1 in 20 sleeps? 1 in 10 sleeps? A result of 12 or less could be considered a nightmare. 12 or less? What do you mean? Like, out of all the rolls? So if we slept for an hour, we guaranteed a nightmare. Because 1 to 6, max being 6. Yeah, but should you be getting a nightmare every time? I mean, even if you just slept for an hour, surely you shouldn't be getting a nightmare. Think about it. Nightmares can only occur if you sleep for 6 hours. You're confusing me now, because you're saying it happens anyway, then you're saying the whole procedure should just happen if we do the 6 hours sleep.
Where are you going? Going so fast tonight. Have you ever stopped beside the road to smell the rose of life? Take a breath now. Don't hold it in too long, 'cause you might end up missing out on life's short little song. She's saying, ooh, you've got one life to live. She's singing, ooh, you've got one life to live, don't let it go. Ooh, you've got one life to live. She's singing, ooh, you've got one life to live, don't let it go.
Are you confusing me now? Where are we going? Oops.
Can you let go of it all tonight? Or will you decide to push on through and ignore the words inside? Take a breath now.
Okay, maybe don't use the dice example. And in basic, what do you mean? How should it be? Because I'm completely lost right now. No, I didn't have any idea. You were telling me how you wanted it done, and I've been waiting to implement it, and I wasn't doing anything. I was just making the function to restore sanity, and then you got carried away, and now I don't even know what I'm doing anymore. I've got the function ready, you just need to tell me what the values are. So I've got a function that takes the amount of hours you slept. So you need to tell me what needs to happen. Yeah, I'm just saying the function works like that, where over time, depending on the amount of data that you have, the values will eventually average. So if I had 100 things, between 1 and 50, the average would be about 25. So even though each different result could be 1, 3, 19, whatever, over the course of those runs, they will all average to, you know, the datas. Amount of hours greater than 6. Okay, do that without the dice, because I need to obviously do this in math. So if amount of hours is greater than 6, then how many points do we add? Greater than or equal to 6, yeah, obviously. So if you sleep for greater than 6 hours, you can get between 6 and 36 sanity points. Is the minimum 6, the maximum 36 now? What happened to 15 and 35? Okay, so you decided on 6 and 36 now. Is that per hour or per 6 hours? What if you sleep less than 6 hours? How much is it per hour? Okay, so if you sleep less than 6 hours, you don't get any sanity points. Okay. So if you sleep any less than 6 hours, you're basically wasting your time, because also while you're sleeping you don't recover base base sanity points, which you normally would have gotten, you know, for doing nothing. Okay, so you don't want it to be, even if you sleep for an hour, you could get a random value between minimum and maximum. So you don't want to be able to restore sanity, even a little bit, if you slept for an hour. So the only time that you'll get sanity points is if you sleep for 6 or more hours. Okay, how much should the bonus be? Between 6 and 36. Okay, initially we said that sleeping was just going to restore sanity flat when you slept, but now we're changing it, but that's fine. What's the minimum sanity and the maximum? And then I'll add a bonus. Okay, and how much points do we get per hour of sleeping? Minimum and maximum? One to 20. Okay. Up to a max of 6. What do you mean we recover no matter if we sleep or not? The point is, how many hours? You lost me again. I asked how many points are recovered when sleeping per hour. I know. I'm like trying so hard to understand. Because I know about the bonus. But I'm talking about what if people only sleep for 2 hours? Should they not get something? A bit of sanity at least? That's correct. When awake. When you're sleeping and when you're waiting, it's disabled. Okay, so that 1.75 sanity per hour. Exactly the same. I want to rather specify differently so that people can choose whether that, if they get a bonus for it or not. Maybe 1 to 10 then? Or 1 to 5 per hour. Minimum of 1, max 5. So that's like an average of 3 per hour of sleeping. So if you only slept for 2 hours, you'll get 6 sanity. You won't get the bonus, but at least you got 6 sanity. How is it lowered? Because the sanity per day we changed. Are you not seeing this? We changed it to balance it. Otherwise you would have gotten way too much in 24 hours. It's 42 sanity per day restored over time, or 1.75 sanity per hour. So 1 to 20 is an average of 11 sanity per hour. Way too much. So for sleeping, I would suggest a minimum of 1, maximum of 5. I think the confusion comes in you don't understand the balance that I'm trying to share here. So if I had to actually like have it in game and show you, it might make better sense. So 1 to 5 would bring it in line. Still provide you more than the recovery over time. I don't have it set to 1 to 20. This is the old one. Gone. Sanity restored over time, 42 sanity per day, or 1.75 sanity per hour. This is what it should be. I have to change that value to make sure that it is that. Sorry, that was confusing. So that means we have to change the min and the max from 1 to 20. How are we going to get this average? 1.75 per hour. The sanity restore min and max. Is that triggered on... Yeah, it is per hour. So we want 1.75 sanity per hour to get a minimum and a maximum. What is 1.75 times 2? It's 3.5. So 1 to 2.5 will give us 3.5. So minimum of 1, maximum of 2.5. That gives us 3.5 or 1.75 average per hour. You following? No, just when awake, not sleeping. Sleeping will give you more. That's the point. Sleeping should give you more. Slightly more. Which is between 1 and 5 instead of 1 and 2.5. So you're basically getting almost double the maximum for sleeping. And then if you sleep 6 hours, you'll get the bonus. How shouldn't it? Sleeping, you're resting. Being awake doing nothing is not going to restore your sanity as much as sleeping would. Yeah, but that's a bonus. Sleeping for an hour is still going to give you more sanity than standing for an hour. Doesn't that make sense? If you stand in one place for an hour, or go kill something for an hour, is your sanity going to be restored as much as just sleeping for an hour? Yeah, but you can have the same logic as casting, sleeping if you want to summon spells so that you can restore your magicka. Exactly. They're more likely to sleep 6 hours at a time. The point is, sleeping should give you more sanity back than just resting. And I'm rather going to make this 8 hours, because it makes more logical sense. Because that's 3 sets of 8 in a day. And then you can change this to 6 in your specific plugin file. That's all configurable. But it would work much easier if we had modulo of 3, aka divided by 3. So then all this was for nothing and we're just going around in circles. You wanted sanity to be restored because there's a threshold. Still think we should restore minimum of 1, maximum of 5, and if you sleep for the max hours you'll get a bonus. We could literally make this bonus between 1 and 40 so that it's literally a big random. Or do you like it 636? I mean, if players are gonna cheat, they're gonna cheat, you know what I mean? There's no real way around that. If they want to waste their time sleeping the whole time. So we can have them maybe set it so that you can only get a rested bonus once a day. And it has to be 24 hours apart from the last sleep.
I left my doubts when I was swept by the ocean, and every pulse from the tide was a finish line. A wave race we were made to ride. You and I were first in line, and we took them by surprise. I was with you all.
And the bonus, should we make it 1 to 40? So there's an extreme low chance and a very high chance. The average is 21 over time. Okay. Or maybe we should make... don't want to go too high because we shouldn't be able to restore our sanity in a day. We spoke about this. I think it should be 1 to 30. That's a bit better. Yeah, we can. Now we do a check where if I hours passed greater than or equal to that limit that we set, which is, can't remember what we called it again. I well rested hours. Exactly. Yeah, if we sleep more, we just spend hours sleeping and we still get points, but only between 1 and 5 per hour. But I'll also cap it so you can't sleep more than 8 hours. Past 8 hours, you're not going to be able to restore points. Restoring overtime is always disabled when sleeping and waiting. I've told you this.
Atoms fall apart. Solar flares arrive. Buildings collapse. Only a few will survive.
9 hours sleep greater than 1 rested. Sanity restored plus equal to a random float between bonus min and bonus max. So there's the bonus. And then we leave a trace.
The apocalypse. The heat is scorching. Forests burned up. The sky colors red. Volcanoes erupt. The world as we know it will no longer be there. Water is gone. A new era has begun. Prepare yourself for the apocalypse. Prepare yourself for the apocalypse.
Okay. We need to make sure you can only sleep 8, well, limit per day, which is currently 8 hours. So we need to make sure in this case you can only sleep 8 hours a day. And after that it doesn't give you a bonus for that day. We're gonna need another integer, int property hours slept today. So we track how many hours they slept on that day. So where's that function where we're sleeping? On sleep stop. Now we're going to say dmncod.hours slept today. We'll see how we balance it. Let me just please get all this done because there's so much I have to add now. If hours slept today, no wait, not hours slept today is equal to hours past. I would love a coffee. So hours slept today. I just gotta wrap something around my head though. What if they sleep through one day to another day? Gotta figure out. And how do we reset it? I just gotta figure out when I reset hours slept today. Because obviously I could set hours slept today to the hours that were past. But when does this reset? I think it should be the next day at midnight. Because each day, obviously. So I'm probably gonna need to add this to my event handler.
No, just don't let it go. I started the fight, but now I'm losing. So will I fall again? I'm scared of heights, yet it was me who ran
I need to figure out somehow when it's the next day. That is what I need to do now. And the problem is time since last update will keep updating every time an hour passes is greater than or equal to 1. And we need that to happen. I could have time since last day. Time since last day, maybe. So time since last day. And then once it reaches a day, set it to 0 again. The time since last day. Time since last day is game, get current game time. Now that we have that, don't we have a check time passed function? We have get days passed. Get current game hour, get hours passed. Time now minus game time. So get days passed is literally time now minus game time. Let's call that. And we go, where was I busy? So if a day has passed, that is then where we have to set that variable we have for hours slept in that day. Do you see now what I'm doing? So once a day has passed, we're going to set the hours slept today to 0. We don't need days passed tracked. We just need to make sure a single day has gone by, so that we can set the slept today to 0. Because we need to know how many hours they slept in a day. Because if they sleep more than the 8 hours, they're not going to get a bonus for it. So if get days passed, time since last day, is greater than or equal to 1, set the hours slept today to 0. and then we obviously update time since last day to the time right now. Get current game time. Why not if current time minus 24 last time slept? Because where are you going to get these variables? Where are you going to get them for? Because last time slept, time since last sleep can change at any time. That's exactly what I'm doing. That is why I have something called hours slept today. And every time that a day has gone by, I set that counter to 0. And every time you sleep, for every hour that you've slept, the hours get added to I hours slept today. Yes, as long as it's a new day since the last update. Which is what I've done. That part is done. I need to figure out where I'm going to add hours slept today now. So hours passed. I'm almost done with this and then we can test. There's so much now to test. Hours slept today. No, we covered the same stuff. Don't worry about that. How are we gonna do this? How are we gonna do this? I think what we need to do, we need to set the hours slept inside this loop. So I hours slept today equal to, or plus equal to 1. And this will never go more than I hours passed anyway. We're passing in I hours passed. And then while I index is less than I hours passed, and hours slept today less than 9. Meaning 8, well, not 9, whatever the max is, obviously. In my case, it's 8 hours. It's gonna be this. So, while I index is less than I hours passed and hours slept today is less than the well rested hours, then you will get sanity points restored for sleeping. If not, then you don't get any sanity points. I actually want these in an if, so I can catch it.
Can you hear my heartbeat calling? Can you feel the love we're falling? Just take my hand and take me home tonight. Throwing caution to the wind. I'll take a chance and let you in. Just take my hand and take me home tonight. We defeat all impossible.
Else,
Here you and me. We'll take our hearts and run free into the wild. Into the wild. Into the wild.
the player has already slept the maximum amount of hours and thus will not receive any further sanity points for sleeping today. I think that's good.
Running so fast, can you find me?
And then we have to make sure in the event where we were sleeping,
Oh baby,
on sleep stop, that we do not pass this on. Because we need to do it when we call the other function. Now why did I have this if here? Oh, okay. That's when we're gonna call this now. Restore sanity sleeping goes in place of that. Now we're gonna pass hours passed into it. I think we're ready to test now. We're gonna have a lot of variable stuff to fill out. Probably have an error or two. But here we go. Already missing something. Plays the drums. Ah, I forgot the autos. Damn it. Look at this. Need auto. Autobahn. I need to remember to comment those things. So compile the data, that should work. Compile the player alias. Get an error on days passed already defined. 191. 191. What's happening in 191? Get days passed. Oh, do I have another function? Oh yeah, I do have another function. This one. Um, 260 we have an issue as well. Go to 260, which is no viable alternative at input F random sanity restore bonus. I'm gonna compile. Yeah, oh, 256 now. It's moved. Because I removed the other stuff. Oh, okay, because I don't have the plus. That should be it. How did I know it was gonna crash? Like every time, like when there's a big thing that happens. So the play alias compile. That's fine, then we can load the data script. So don't worry about all those values, you'll be able to change them to whatever you like. And when we're done and we're happy, I can even make a plugin for you that has the values that you want, so you don't even have to like configure them. Yeah, way to make your game harder, huh? The game's not hard enough, let's make it harder. Let's punish you for conjuring things. Conjurer. While you're at it, let me go. I'm gonna like make the most difficult mod in the game. Like, I'm gonna over encumber you. Like, I'll literally make it hyper realistic. Call it hyper realistic Skyrim overhaul or something. Okay, let's go to the data handler. Let's set all our values now. Look how many configurations we have. So sleeping bonus max, that was 30, if I'm not mistaken. Let's just double check. So maximum of 30, minimum of 1. Sleeping bonus min, 1. Then sleeping max is 5. And a minimum of 1. I don't know why I have these as floats. They could be integers. Well, I guess if you ever want increments like 0.2, so I'll leave them as floats. So 1, sleeping, minimum of 1, max of 5, bonus, minimum of 1, max of 30. Cool. Time since last day, that must be empty. Time since last sleep must be empty. Time since last update must be empty. Hours slept today must be empty. And well rested hours, we need to set to 8. Cool. All of the variables have values. We are ready to go in. Yeah, but I can make your game even more realistic. Like so hard you'll want to cry and never play Skyrim again. I'll make it you'll have to like wait days to recover wounds, and if you get hurt you will be slowed down drastically and you can bleed out and your health regenerates super slowly, and none of that like recovery over time. Power plays. Yeah, but it wouldn't be for them, it would be for a very specific type of person. Now I sound like Bennett Foddy, don't I? I made this for a very specific type of person. To hurt them. Yes, I should do that. I should make the getting over it of Skyrim. Turn around, get backstabbed, you die, game over. Walk down, you die, you stepped on a trap, game over. Oh, you look at this ingredient, it eats you, game over. Drink some water from this lake, oh you dead, game over. Run up to a god, it's not really a god, game over. Know what I mean? Just make it really hard. Trip over this bush, game over. Notice a bed in the middle of nowhere, sleep in it, game over. Huh? And then the name of the mod, the game over mod. And then you hear my voice every time you die, game over. That'd be pretty cool, huh? I think it'll be cool. Hey, the Death Dog! Welcome, finally! You made it! Didn't catch you last time. But now you're finally here. That was a joke, by the way. Stupicide. Yeah, sorry, I'm still here. And the Death Dog, it's going well. We are making the mod, I think that you just missed out yesterday when we were finishing up and leaving. So welcome back, you finally made it. We are going to test actually. So what needs to happen now is so let's look at our current sanity. Our sanity is 100. If we want to sleep for an hour, yeah, I gotta obviously test those things. Let's check the log. The player went to sleep on day 6 at 12:54. The player woke up on day 0 at 13:54. Hey look, it's working except for the day. Look at the hours, like you can literally see it was exactly an hour later. Hey, do you see? That function we made is pretty useful. Just gotta figure out why it thinks 0 days went by. I think I know why. Where is that? That is on the event. So on sleep stop, days past is floor, time since last sleep, minus floor, time now. Oh, days past is fine.
I wonder what went wrong today, eh? Why do I feel like I linger? Linger between the words to say, eh? To say the words to remember.
This is actually days slept. And we need another one called I days past, which is going to be the same as above. So then days past, and then I hours slept. Is days slept. Slept, not slepts. Days slept. And then hours slept is days slept times 24. And then sanity restore sleeping, hours slept. How's it been going so far? Well, we have the sanity, like I could show you. We don't have a Dremora. Ah, goddammit. We need the conjure. Hold on. So, player.add spell 10 DDEC1. No. There. So if we summon a Dremora, I don't think we have enough magic yet. Yeah. Okay, so if we summon this Dremora, our sanity will go down. So if we look at the data handler, you'll see our sanity now is at 85. So for our sanity to go up again, we need to sleep. There are several other things, and right now we're getting the sleep part, where when you sleep you'll get rested bonuses and whatnot. Anyway, let me go back. Well, your sanity can't get too high, it can get too low, and if it gets too low then you go insane. And then, well, we don't really have anything that will happen yet, but there will be something. We're just tracking right now. Okay, so days slept is going to be time since last sleep and then floor the time now, which is fine, that's what it should be. And then days past is just how many days in-game that have passed. So that when it says the player woke up on days, let's say 8. So that will work. And then days slept is... cool. Not I hours slept. Where do I keep coming with that? I hours slept. Restore sanity sleeping. Cool, we're just gonna leave that like that. I think that's good. But other than that, it should be working. But apparently it's not, because when we slept, it wanted to restore a total of 0 sanity points. Why? And also, when we slept, it didn't add the points. So restore sanity sleeping. If hours slept today, which is 0. If 0 is less than 8, which is true, Why didn't it add 1 to our counter? High hours slept today plus equal to 1. Should have done that. Oh, we need to also check if the player is sleeping or not. I think that was restoring. We need to make sure if the player is sleeping or not. Restore sanity to threshold. Let's have a boolean. Bool. Is player sleeping? And then as we're about to begin, we set the bool is player sleeping to is PC sleeping. Apparently that's a function. I don't know if it is. Let's see if that will compile. That poor Dremora was still waiting for me. So compile. Failed. Is PC sleeping is not a function or does not exist. Yeah, I thought so. Unless it's as part of... Well, the death dog, you can always do what Stupicide here did, which is we making a mod together, so I don't mind helping you out. Small things for me to do and learn. Right now we need to get the sleeping state. Exactly. Though it's more like he shared half of his genius and then I took over with more genius of my own, which is like over 100% genius in that case. We're on 200% genius right now. It's brilliant. But the game doesn't use 6. Why is it not intuitive? In real life you sleep 8 hours, not 6 hours. That's brilliant, the death dog. Well, we're not the working class, we're the Dragonborn, so we sleep 8 hours. Okay, so let's add the player reference to this script. It seems like we're gonna need it. Actor, property, player ref, auto. I think that is the one. It should auto fill. It's either player ref or player. I can't remember now. No, it is player ref. I was right. Cool. So then we can call player ref. Well, you can change it. That's the whole point. It's like customizable. Anyway, so we need get sleep state of 3. So if player ref get sleep state is equal to 3, B is player sleeping equal to true. And then while I index less than I hours passed, and this is going to be wrapped up in an if. If not, player is sleeping. So as long as we're not sleeping, because if we're sleeping we don't want to restore our sanity via the restore sanity to threshold script. That would be kind of pointless. If not, B is player sleeping. Okay, and then we need to make sure this actually does work. So the best way to do that is by adding it to our on update. And if get sleep state is 3, B player, we're just gonna have a message box pop up. And since you're having fun with me, there we go. Let's go and compile that now. I think that's all that needed to change. Cool, no errors. Let's jump back into the game. Well, Skyrim is in the Middle Ages, you know. They got up when the sun rised. And they got up whenever the Dragonborn was running around, saying things like Fusroda! And then everyone woke up. Okay, so let's see if the script knows when we're sleeping, shall we? So if I go to bed now, maybe we didn't sleep enough. Let's sleep for like 3 hours or 5 hours. They probably did, the death dog. I gotta stop all the spam in the log. It's so useless now that we know everything's working. Why isn't it working? On update. I'm trying to think now, why wouldn't that work? Yes, the bot doesn't like that message because it means something else. Why can't you just say the rooster like everyone else? Well, that's not the male version's name anyway, so that's why. There's a rooster. There you go. I guess not, like, officially. But yes, it works too. Why is this not detecting us sleeping right now? That's the thing that's bothering me. It apparently may not work, which clearly is the case, because you can sleep. And it's not detecting the player sleeping. Okay, let's try something else. Let's put it in the on sleep start, just so that we know. Is that gonna work? Don't think it is. We might need to have a boolean on our script itself. Yeah, I think let's do that instead. So let's have a boolean property is player sleeping. And then we're going to make it simple, where on sleep start we're going to set that to true. And on sleep stop you can have that right at the end, and we set it to false. Is the stream down? No, seems fine. It's probably back now. Is that a little bit better? Are we back? Can you hear me? We're going to floor that. Is the stream working fine? Should be. Days pass plus desired sleep end plus format game time. Desired sleep end time. True. How is that possible if I'm still going?